region and underscored the urgent need to restore regional peace and stability. He called on Iran and all other partners to exercise restraint and refrain from any action that could jeopardize the hard-earned peace achieved over the past 2 or 3 weeks. President Pezeshkian, on his part, reaffirmed Iran's commitment to peace and appreciated Pakistan's constructive support and sincere efforts for regional stability. The two leaders also reviewed implementation of the decision taken during President Pezeshkian's visit to Pakistan earlier this month and follow-up actions for further strengthened bilateral cooperation across diverse fields. Both leaders agreed to remain in close contact and continue consultations on matters of mutual interest and regional peace. And in the similar vein of our peace efforts, the Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister on the 13th of July, Deputy Prime Minister, Foreign Minister Senator Mohammad Ishaq Dar held a telephone conversation with Saudi Foreign Minister Prince Faisal bin Farhan. They discussed recent regional developments, stressed restraint and dialogue, and agreed to remain in close contact. And on the 12th of July, the DPM and Foreign Minister held a telephone conversation with his Iranian counterpart, Foreign Minister Sayyid Abbas Araghchi, and they discussed the regional situation, emphasized de-escalation and diplomacy, and agreed to remain in close contact. On 13th July, this conversation with the Saudi Foreign Minister, in addition, also discussed regional developments, restrained dialogue, and both sides have since then remained in contact through diplomatic channels. Moving on to other developments, ladies and gentlemen, on 13th July, the Prime Minister, along with the former Prime Minister, Mohammad Nawaz Sharif, accompanied by the Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister, visited Doha. The purpose was to offer condolences to a long-standing friend of Pakistan, the Amir of Qatar, His Excellency Sheikh Hamad bin Khalifa Al Thani. We condoled with the present Amir and the Qatari leadership. President Asif Ali Zardari, ladies and gentlemen, visited Kyrgyz Republic from 6th to 9th July, marking the first trip by a Pakistani president to the Central Asian state for 21 years, and this visit was important in this context. The Deputy Prime Minister, Foreign Minister, earlier this morning, ladies and gentlemen, left for Shanghai. This morning, we issued a curtain raiser. The purpose of the visit is to attend the signing ceremony of the establishment of the World Artificial Intelligence Cooperation Organization, WICO, which is an initiative of the Chinese president. The Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister will sign WICO's instrument on behalf of Pakistan as the founding member of this organization. We'll keep you updated of the Deputy Prime Minister's, Foreign Minister's other engagements in the region as they unfold, in Shanghai as they develop. On 9th of July, ladies and gentlemen, the Foreign Minister the Foreign and European Affairs Minister of Croatia, Gordon Grlic Radman, paid an official visit to Pakistan. This was at the invitation of the Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister. The two sides held delegation-level talks covering bilateral relations of trade and investment, higher education, tourism, cultural exchange, defense cooperation, and collaboration at multilateral forums. They reaffirmed their commitment for expanding economic engagement, strengthening dialogue, and enhancing people-to-people contacts. Ladies and gentlemen, the 9th OIC conference for women was held in Islamabad this week. This was on Monday, 13th of July. 57 member states gathered for this 9th OIC Ministerial Conference on Women. The primary host was our Ministry for Human Rights, and around 190 delegates participated in the conference, which focused on the theme socio-economic and political empowerment of women in OIC countries, challenges and the way forward. Yesterday, Pakistan and Portugal held their annual bilateral consultations in Islamabad. Ambassador Aisha Ali, our Additional Secretary for Europe, and Ambassador Helena Malcata, the Director General for Foreign Policy, led the two respective delegations. We issued a press release on this late last evening. On 30th June, ladies and gentlemen, finally, let me tell you that on 30th June, Pakistan had submitted its 7th National Report on the implementation of the United Nations Security Council Resolution 1540 to the chair of the United Nations Committee on 1540. This committee, ladies and gentlemen, in 2004, Security Council adopted a resolution 1540 on proliferation of weapons of mass destruction. So under this, as a result, pursuant to this resolution, a Security Council's Committee on 1540, it's called the 1540 Committee, was established. And Pakistan has been reportedly sending its national reports on our legal and administrative measures taken by Pakistan to prevent proliferation of nuclear, chemical, and biological weapons and their means of delivery. And in this regard, we outlined our elaborate national legislative, physical protection, border controls, and export controls to prevent such proliferation. Since its inception in 2004, this is the 7th report. So in the last 22 years, you could see that on the average, we have been submitting its report roughly every 3 years. So this is an important development that I wish you to be informed of. And it shows Pakistan's credentials as a responsible state, responsible nuclear weapon state, fulfilling its international commitments with regards to non-proliferation. I'll conclude my opening statement, and the floor is open for question answers. Ji, sir.
The convicted ringleader of the Rochelle child grooming gang. He's released from prison after 14 years, and now UK government has said that they are in discussion with Pakistan regarding his possible removal. Of course, there is multiple reports that he is a British Pakistani, his still status is. Can you confirm whether the UK has formally approached Pakistan on this matter? If so, what has Pakistan's response been? Thank you.
Pakistan strongly condemns the incident of child sexual abuse in the strongest possible terms. Perpetrators of such heinous crimes must be investigated, prosecuted, and punished to the fullest extent of the law, irrespective of race, ethnicity, or religion. The matter in question is entirely an internal matter of the United Kingdom. The individual concerned is a British national who spent his entire adult life in the UK and was duly convicted by a British court for reprehensible offences committed on British soil. Any decision regarding his release, supervision, or future legal status fall exclusively within the jurisdiction of the competent British authorities and must be dealt with in accordance with the laws of the United Kingdom. Regardless of where he was born, the onus lies on where he grew up, was raised, groomed, and unfortunately spoiled. His heinous crimes demand serious introspection rather than a quest to search for extraneous causes. Let me add that the government of Pakistan has no connection whatsoever with this matter. We cannot be associated with any decisions relating to the individual's release or subsequent treatment under the British law. Thank you. Ji, at the black shirt.
Sir, thank you very much. Sir, I have a question regarding India's National Investigative Agency has recently filed charge sheet against 6 all-parties Hurriyat conference leaders including late Sayyid Ali Gilani, in connection with the 1996 mob violence case. What are your comments on this?
Yes. Ji, Anas, follow.
Separately, the Indian government has also designated a number of individuals and charge-sheeted them, including several Pakistanis as terrorists, quote unquote, and linked them to the Pahalgam attack. What is Pakistan's take on the matter?
Let me at the outset clarify that these are two separate issues. Though part of the standard Indian playbook to use sham legal process and promote fabricated, politically motivated rhetoric for a range of mischievous objectives that India undertakes against Pakistan. Firstly, on the case against Hurriyat leadership, Pakistan unequivocally condemns and rejects the latest charge sheet filed by the National Investigation Agency, the NIA, against senior leadership of the All Parties Hurriyat Conference in connection with an incident dating back as far back as in 1996, 30 years. This action, a clear afterthought, is yet another manifestation of India's continuing policy of using sham legal processes to target the Kashmiri political leadership and discredit a legitimate indigenous struggle for their inalienable right to self-determination as enshrined in the UN Security Council resolutions. The decision to revive a case relating to events 3 decades old lays bare the extent to which India's investigative and judicial institutions are being employed to advance a political agenda. The inclusion of deceased Hurriyat leader further expose the exercise as a politically motivated attempt to reinforce a predetermined narrative. No amount of politically orchestrated prosecution, retrospective investigations, or attempts to delegitimize the Kashmiri leadership can alter the internationally recognized disputed status of Jammu and Kashmir, or extinguish the Kashmiri people's inalienable right to self-determination, or even obscure the urgent need for a peaceful and just resolution of the Jammu and Kashmir dispute in accordance with the aspirations of the people of Jammu and Kashmir and relevant UN Security Council resolutions. Neither this malicious propaganda divert international attention from India's own grave systematic human rights violations in the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Coming to the second part of the question, Anas, Pakistan categorically rejects India's baseless and politically motivated attempts to link Pakistan with the Pahalgam attacks in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Such allegations are consistent with the recurring pattern of attempts to malign Pakistan and divert attention from the fact. And the fact is that Pakistan had repeatedly called for an independent, transparent and credible investigation into the incident. Despite these calls, India has yet to present any credible or verifiable evidence to substantiate its allegations. India's reluctance to subject its claims to impartial scrutiny only raises questions about the credibility of its narrative. Rather than engaging constructively with Pakistan and allowing the facts to emerge through an objective investigation, India continues to rely on rhetoric, disinformation, and media sensationalism to advance its unsubstantiated allegations. Such approaches neither serve the cause of justice nor contribute to regional peace and stability. So instead of making unfounded accusation against others, India should undertake a sincere reflection on its own record, including its policies and actions in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, and its continued sponsorship of terrorist activities that Pakistan has consistently raised with the international community, not just in Pakistan, but in Western countries as well. So lasting peace and stability in the region can only be achieved through adherence to international law, respect for the UN Charter, and commitment to dialogue and peaceful resolutions of dispute, and not by leveling such allegations, which, as I said, is primarily for domestic consumption. Thank you.
दफ्तर ख़ारजा ताहिर हुसैन अंद्राबी की तवर प्रेस ब्रीफिंग आपने मुलाज़ा फरमाई। तर्जुमान दफ्तर ख़ारजा ने कहा है कि ईरान और अमेरिका के दरमियान दोबारा कशीदगी पर तशवीश है। उन्होंने कहा कि पाकिस्तान मौजूदा इलाकाई सूरत हाल पर गहरी नज़र रखे हुए है। उन्होंने कहा कि पाकिस्तान आबनाई मसनूआत की बासानी फराहमी पर यकीन रखता है। तर्जुमान दफ्तर ख़ारजा ने कहा कि पाकिस्तान मसाइल के हल के लिए मुज़ाकरात पर यकीन रखता है। उन्होंने कहा कि इस्लामाबाद मुफाहमती यादाश्त पर अमल दरामद जारी रहना चाहिए।